being watched. The government has a secret system, a machine that spies on you every hour of every day. I know because I built it. I designed the machine to detect acts of terror, but it sees everything. Violent crimes involving ordinary people, people like you. Crimes the government considered irrelevant. They wouldn't act, so I decided I would. But I needed a partner, someone with the skills to intervene. Hunted by the authorities, we work in secret. You'll never find us. But victim or perpetrator, if your number's up, we'll find you.
From the Postal Service after his initial arrest, but tonight none of the 5 people now indicted have been arrested on these new charges. The Postal Service and federal law enforcement have not answered any of our questions about how these types of issues are being handled or how Houston compares to other areas.
New at 10 and only on 2 tonight, a former Houston mail carrier accused of stealing millions of dollars in checks that should have been delivered to your mailboxes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on KPRC 2 News at 10. I'm Daniela Guzman. My co-anchor Keith Garvin is off tonight. Well, that mailman delivered to an area where 125,000 Houstonians call home. And tonight, he is one of 5 people indicted. KPRC 2's Bryce Newberry joining us now live to explain how this scheme worked.
Yeah, Daniela, this is really the last person that you'd expect to be stealing your mail. And the way that all of this happened is a little bit unbelievable. Postal workers who steal and sell checks are common enough to have a street name. They're known as postal plugs. That's according to a law enforcement source who tonight tells me these checks are in high demand right now. This group is accused of using an encrypted messaging app and an underground lingo to try and pull all of this off.
Now you heard what they say. Underground lingo, encrypted. So you got to understand, this guy right here is getting busted. Seemed to me that he could be just a fall guy, because this is organized crime.
According to a law enforcement source who tonight tells me these checks are in high demand right now. This group is accused of using an encrypted messaging app and an underground lingo to try and pull all of this off.
So where did he get? Who created this encrypted messaging app for them to be able to do this? You know what I'm saying?
This post office on Houston's northeast side, now at the center of a multi-million-dollar theft ring. It started with USPS credit.
Now you heard what he said, multi-millionaire, multi-million. So you already know that this is, is way bigger than the Fall Guys.
This post office on Houston's northeast side, now at the center of a multi-million-dollar theft ring. It started with USPS credit cards being swiped for fuel, seen here filling up non-USPS vehicles at odd hours. Then hundreds of thousands of dollars in checks that should have been delivered along the Roy Royal Post Office's mail routes spanning these 5 zip codes began disappearing.
It's like every route that he touched, people was complaining. They was getting complaints about mail was coming up missing.
That's a postal employee who used to work at Roy Royal who asked to remain.
Mail was coming up missing.
That's a postal employee who used to work at Roy Royal who asked to remain anonymous, fearing retaliation.
It made me angry at that time. It is thieves working
That's crazy.
The postal service. I'm pretty sure.
Now this dude just said he wanted to remain anonymous, but yet you got his voice. You just heard what they just say. He's a former worker that's talking. He's giving up tape. Y'all could have at least distorted his voice. You see how they snitch? They snitch on the snitches. You know what I'm saying? They letting his voice, look at my man. He don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying?
Mail was coming up missing.
That's a postal employee who used to work at Roy Royal who asked to remain anonymous, fearing retaliation.
It made me angry at that time. It is thieves working amongst the postal service. I'm pretty sure he's not the only one.
Investigators from the USPS Inspector General's office opened a criminal investigation in 2022. And when Houston police served a search warrant at this house last November because they say it had been rented using a stolen identity, they started uncovering more of a mail theft and check fraud scheme.
The person inside this residence is a mail carrier. Officers immediately began to notice a lot of mail that was not addressed to the legal residents.
Through search warrants for homes, cell phones, and Instagram, combined with timesheets and attendance records, what happened to all those checks, mostly belonging to small businesses, became clearer.
And in the case of every check that was stolen, that was found either in his vehicle or through images in his phone, they were able to pair up a route that he had worked on or about the exact day the check went missing.
Records show the checks included monthly Social Security and disability.
So for all the old heads out there, if your checks is coming up missing in that area or any area, because this is happening all over. This is an organized crime. So, you know, like I said, this dude's just a fall guy. This been going on. Social Security, disability, federal refund payment, Social Security payment. Better keep your eyes on your checks.
Payments, as well as federal tax refunds. A Harris County grand jury just indicted 26-year-old Cameron Goodwin, a Royal postal carrier of 2 years, for engaging in organized crime and theft.
That's it right there. That's the key right there, y'all.
Postal carrier of 2 years for engaging in organized crime.
So anything that's organized, when you see that word right there, organized crime, then that means it's big. It's big. We talking linked up with the human trafficking, the AKA the gang stalking, all this, gang banging, drugs affiliation, guns being dropped off in the neighborhoods. All that is considered to be under organized crime. You know what I'm saying?
Crime and theft. He's now accused of running a vast criminal network, stealing well over $1 million in checks straight from the mail between August and November of last year.
You already know when you getting that type of money right there, oh, it's definitely organized crime. You know the feds is watching. The feds is you know they ain't on it. You know what I'm saying? But somebody, obviously this dude done messed up, because I'm about to show right now, they posting pictures and stuff. So, you know, when black folk do this stupid stuff, that's how they get booked.
Then brokering them to bidders for a flat fee. Alleged bidders like Keyshawn Jones and Sylvester Brown. Brown seen here handling the checks while wearing a glove allegedly to conceal his fingerprints. After posing with stacks of cash, investigators believe he got through theft and fraud.
See, this is how they expose themselves when they start doing dumb shit like this.
The transactions usually got discussed.
Here you go. It's called Telegram, a new era of messaging. So you can message, it's like encrypted or whatever, discreet.
Over Telegram, prosecutors say, a hard-to-track encrypted messaging app.
They don't cooperate in most conventional ways.
According to a law enforcement source, the accused used code words.
Most conventional ways.
A hard-to-track encrypted messaging app.
They don't cooperate in most conventional ways.
According to a law enforcement source, the accused...
And that right there could have been the problem. That could have been the cause of their downfall, since they don't cooperate.
Cooperate in most conventional ways.
According to a law enforcement source, the accused used code words, referring to checks as slips, calling those from the U.S. Treasury stimmies, and altered slips are known to be cooked. How prevalent is this kind of thing in the postal system?
There are certainly more postal employees that are doing this. I couldn't comment on how many, but I will tell you, if you're doing it, your case is probably being worked already, and you may think you're getting away with it.
Check the lies out right there on that back. See it? Equal justice for all. Believe it if you want to. Go ahead and be a fool.
Not.
Investigators tracked some stolen money to bank accounts in Louisiana they say belonged to Keyshawn Jones's girlfriend and her mother, both now also indicted for theft.
I think some of these folks are thieves before they come to the postal service, to be honest with you.
For honest and hardworking postal employees, it's a scheme that stings.
But not everybody is bad at the postal service, you know. It's like, it's embarrassing that everybody that drives them trucks put on these uniforms. It's bad on everybody. That looks bad to everybody.
And Goodwin resigned from the Postal Service after his initial arrest, but tonight none of the 5 people now indicted have been arrested on these new charges. The Postal Service and federal law enforcement have not answered any of our questions about how these types of issues are being handled or how Houston compares to other areas when it comes to internal mail theft. But we do have a couple of tips on how to protect your checks in the mail with this story right now.
So there you have it, y'all. So here it is. Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Anyway, here it is, y'all. Your checks is in jeopardy. That's right. So they'd rather keep their eye on you if you're a targeted individual out here being tracked and traced and followed around and heavily monitored under heavy surveillance. You and I already know that there's no secret. So it makes you wonder, how else can you explain it? You got to know that, okay, these people out here committing this type of crime for such amount of time, over 12 to 24 months of doing this, right? And you mean to tell me that they just now getting caught, they done accumulated? Because that's what the feds will do anyway. They'll sit back and let you hang yourself anyway. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you a lot of rope. They sit back and they'll come on, they'll bust you. Now, the dude is getting locked up for that $1 million. And anybody else that's down, that's because they're going to get the rat and then snitching once they get caught. They're going to get the snitching on each other. So, they're going to get some tick, but that's on them. But my thing is this. How did this go on so long without this being exposed? Because there's a lot of inside men, saying what they call an inside job. There's a lot of inside people that's a part of this AKA quote unquote organized crime. Anything that's making this type of bread is organized, and if it's organized like this, then you already know. If it's making that type of money, then you already know that dirty law enforcement is involved, the Alphabet Gang is involved. You know what I'm saying? So, but they spend all this money on national security to watch you and track and monitor you because you're going to the grocery store just to pick up some eggs and bread. And they send 20 undercover agents. This is real for all my new subscribers that don't know. But this is what a TI goes through, a real targeted individual that's on the national watch list. You can't even go to the grocery store and get some bread and peanut butter without them sending 20 agents dressed in regular clothes. And also law enforcement while you in aisle 7 picking up some bread or whatever. They send a whole gang of people to watch you and flock you, and they know what you're about to do. And they, even before you even do it, they know your thoughts because your thoughts is on broadcast due to high technology, satellites and stuff like that. But at the same time, crimes like this is being taking place and nobody seems to know. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, one thing about being a target individual, at least if you didn't learn anything about being in this program, you should at least know or had learned that this whole world is a joke. And it's just one big Ponzi scheme, is one big psyop that's going on. You should at least know that. If you didn't learn anything, you should at least learn that. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing else makes sense. How can they be on you all day and watching every move you make? But all this real so-called, like I said, organized crime is going on, and they can't catch these guys, or now they just catch them all late. All these old folk that these people needed their money. If you're on disability, you know what I'm saying, you need your bread. But here it is, you got these posts, you can't even trust the postal service, you know what I'm saying, with your money. You see what I'm saying? So, but this is the world that we live in. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't see it by now that the good is considered the bad and the bad is considered the good, then I don't know where you've been at. You've been under a rock. You know what I mean? The world is not what you think. It isn't. It's like the people that's doing the most strategic crimes out here are being like protected or whatever. And the people that's out here that's trying to live a normal life or just, mind your own business, you're the one that's being targeted. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about, I hear a lot of people saying that targeted individuals are highly intelligent or high IQ. No, it's not all about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that you might just be a person that just want to just mind your own business. It's not about you being a rocket scientist, you know what I'm saying, or a metaphysical teacher, or so connected to God and all this. Like, how these so-called chosen people want to, throw out. It's not about that. You might just be a regular female or a male that just want to fall back and enjoy your life But you got these entities that know about you, you know, and they don't like you. It could be a bloodline thing. It could be anything. Who knows? Or it could just be, it could be something real, real deep why they placed you on the TI list. Or it could just be, we just wanted to do it just for GP. We just want to test out our new equipment. It's like somebody getting a new gun and just want to blow somebody's head off with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't promote violence. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. I'm just saying. I'm just using that as an example. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Y'all tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. Holla back. DB Gang Song Simulation. We out.